being a lawyer, you sort of want to have, how has the pandemic changed what you're doing? As a lawyer, people sort of have the idea you want to go to the office, you want to sit and talk to, they want to talk to you face to face. They want sort of this, how is that different during this pandemic? How has technology affected what you're, or how has the pandemic affected what you're doing? And is technology able to help in that?
Well, to start with, we're doing a whole lot more of this, right? A lot more video conferences. I think it's changing our work in a lot of the ways that it's changing other workforces, but we're just starting from a more conservative place where, you know, the default presumption was always like for a deposition, for if you want to try to settle your case, if you want to bring something to the court, it's all in person. And there's this like premium of doing that face to face. There are rituals to it. You know, there's rituals to how you argue in court, the way you're supposed to stand up, how you're supposed to button your coat, all those things. And it was just parts of how it was. And so it was parts of how it always should be. And that's had to change, you know? And I think the really interesting thing is how much we've all gotten used to it. You know, arguments on very substantive issues. I mean, the Supreme Court is doing it. These have all happened via video conferencing, and the sky hasn't fallen. People are still being able to settle their cases. You're still able to get information from a witness through a deposition. We're able to do all these things, and you're able to appreciate sort of the side benefits. I mean, I think the offices eventually will come back. There's something to be said for in-person communication. I think that's true, especially when, at least for lawyers, you're younger in the profession, and sort of like being able to like just walk into someone's office and sort of learn through osmosis. I think those are valuable things that that it would be good to get back. But beyond that, you know, I have 2 hours now to like watch my daughter, to cook dinner that I didn't have with my commute. And I think that's going to be something very hard not to keep.
So you mentioned the Supreme Court. How does the makeup of this new Supreme Court affect, how does that affect what you're doing? Will that have any effect on what you're doing or your cases? I mean, is it a difference?
Yeah, I mean,
2 minutes, Sean.
2 minutes.
So
Okay.
go ahead. I'll be very short.
Okay.
The short answer is it affects it, but it already was affecting it, and so it's just more so. We've had a majority conservative Supreme Court for decades. It is just now, it's always been a small majority, right? Such that if you have a judge who is willing to compromise, or you have a judge who this is their particular issue, they're willing to flip to the other side, and you can get maybe a okay verdict. Now, that's much less likely to happen. There's much less elasticism and in the court, and the judges there are much more conservative. And so I think that the net outcome of that is that, you know, as a progressive lawyer, your job is to avoid the Supreme Court to the extent.
Well, what can we do to change that as progressives? What can we do to change it?
Well, I think that's a very topical question, because I think the answer is right now, vote, especially if you're in a swing state, and vote for your senators, because nothing's changing if we don't take back the Senate. And I think everyone knows this, but because of some very troubling Supreme Court rulings in the last few days, casting doubt on ballots received after the election date, if you're thinking at all about mailing your vote, it might not be counted. It's crazy to say, but so vote in person or drop it off. That's the best thing you can do to protect your vote, ensure it's counted, and ensure change.